I am a former basketball performance coach, as you've probably guessed from the pictures behind me, and I've had a chance to work with and learn from and observe the best players in the world. As Stu mentioned, the late, great Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Steve Nash. And they've taught me so many invaluable lessons that I've been able to apply to every area of my life. And my goal this morning is simply to share some of those lessons with you and some of the most important strategies so that you all can continue to level up in your lives. Even though it's been well over a decade, I remember it like it was yesterday, the first time I had a chance to meet Kevin Durant. He was only 15 years old at the time, and I watched him play for just a few minutes, and a few things became really obvious to me. The first was, this kid loves to play the game of basketball. He was playing as hard as possible, but he had a smile on him that just wouldn't quit. He was very fundamentally sound. Even at that age, Kevin had perfect footwork and pristine shooting mechanics. KD also had a very high basketball IQ. It was quite apparent to me that he really understood the game on a cerebral level that would probably rival most coaches. But the other thing that I noticed was Kevin was rather slight of frame. He used to get irritated with me when I would call him skinny, so we'll call him slight of frame. But it was obvious that lack of strength and size and power could be a limiting factor on allowing him to be the best player he was capable of. He had all the other tools in his toolbox. And as a strength and conditioning coach, I got really excited thinking that I might have the key to help him unlock his potential. And it took a few months of convincing, because at that time, KD had never gone through any type of organized and structured strength and conditioning workout. So it took a couple months of perseverance and grit and convincing, but finally his wonderful mom, Wanda, let him come in for a workout with me. And I was so excited. I got so jacked up. I probably went a bit overboard, because within the first 20 minutes of the workout, I had absolutely hammered him. KD was laying in a pile on the gym floor. He was sweating profusely. His muscles were twitching a little bit. And I really laid the hammer on him. And KD was a very quiet and reserved young man back in those days. So in those 20 minutes, he didn't say two words the whole time. So I had no idea whether or not he actually liked the workout. So I asked him, and I'll never forget, he looked up from the floor and looked up and said with all seriousness, "No, I didn't really like the workout, but I know this is what I need to do in order to make it to the NBA." And I remember being blown away in that moment, blown away by his maturity, blown away by the fact that he understood that he was going to have to make a change and going to have to make a sacrifice in order to accomplish something that was really important to him, to make his dreams come true. But what was most impressive about that was the fact that Kevin understood that he was going to actually have to put that into action. See, even at 15 years old, Kevin didn't just dream of being a great player. He didn't just hope that he would become a great player. He didn't just sit around wanting to be a great player. He actually put those things into action. And that is really, really important for you all to process right now. The fact that thousands of you have been tuning in yesterday and today and watching all of these speakers, many of whom are my colleagues and friends. So I know you guys have been in for a real treat with the brilliance they've shared. And many of you will be taking notes and writing down some of the key nuggets. But just watching these videos and speakers and writing down some notes is incomplete at best. See, if you don't actually take these teachings and these strategies and these principles, if you don't act on them, if you don't put them into action and actually start to change your behavior, then you're not going to see any change in your life. So as you watch these videos, whether you're watching them live or you're watching them in recording, as you're taking notes, just think of how you can actually connect the dots and put these things into action. Because knowledge without action is utterly useless. Now, quick question, and I know I can't hear you guys right now. That's one of the downsides of doing everything virtually. How many of you are familiar with the game musical chairs? I know here in the States, it was a pretty popular game when I was younger, and it was even a game that I've played with my 3 young children. We haven't played it in a while, and chances are if you guys are of high school age right now, you probably haven't played it in a while either. But you probably remember the premise. And the premise of musical chairs is there are a lot more people than there are chairs, which is why when the music stops, you get that temporary anxiety attack because you're worried that you're not going to get one of the chairs. Well, I've come to realize that life is like a giant game of musical chairs. I would imagine each and every one of you listening right now that you have some goals, you have some dreams, you have some things that you'd love to see unfold in your future. You know, maybe it's making your soccer team or basketball team, or getting the lead in the school play, or maybe earning a way into a prestigious university. Or maybe you want to create the next Fortnite or Injustice, or maybe you want to become a YouTube star, but you most likely have some amazing dreams. And I'm so excited that you do. But what you need to realize is there are literally millions of kids your age around the world that want the exact same thing that you want. And that's why it's like a game of musical chairs, because the opportunities to make the soccer or basketball team, to get the lead in the school play, to go to a prestigious university, to become a YouTube star, the opportunities are far fewer than the number of people that want them. So it is like a game of musical chairs. Now, I don't say that to discourage you, and I don't want to diminish your dreams. Instead, I want to give you 6 habits, if you will, 6 habits that will greatly increase your chance of getting one of those chairs. 6 fundamentals that if you implement these things every day of your life, you will increase the chance that you'll make that soccer or basketball team, get that lead in the school play, go to a prestigious university, or become a future YouTube star. And if you can put these things into practice and do them habitually every single day, you will increase that chance of it happening. Now, this is not a guarantee. One of the toughest things in the world to process and understand is there is no guarantee. That no matter how hard you work and how consistent you are with these habits, it does not guarantee that you'll get what you want. But I can pretty much promise you that if you choose not to do these things, I guarantee you, you won't accomplish those dreams. So there's 6 habits. And when we talk about habits, ultimately, I'm talking about things that you do unconsciously and that you do consistently. I want these to become part of the daily fabric of what you do. And with that being said, it's so important to remember that repetition is not punishment. Repetition is the oldest form of learning in existence, and it's arguably the most effective. That if you guys want to get good at anything, you have to get in reps. And most of those reps will occur during the unseen hours. Those are the hours when no one else is watching. And if you can learn to do these 6 things when no one else is watching, and you do them routinely and regularly, you'll increase your chance of making all of your dreams come true. Number 1 is be coachable. Now, I say coachable, and I can put it in quotes because I want you to be coachable to your teachers. I want you to be coachable to your parents. I want you to be coachable to your actual coaches if you play sports, and tutors and trainers and anyone else that is going to pour into you and help you establish the tools that you need to be successful. And a good portion of being coachable starts with listening. Some of you right now are tuned in and you're vaguely hearing what I'm saying, but you're not actively listening. You're not fully present and dialing in to take these strategies and convert them to notes and then be ready to put them into action. So it's so important that in order to be coachable, that you actively listen, which means you listen with your eyes as well as your ears. We may hear with our ears, but we listen with our eyes. Being coachable is also about being humble. I want each and every one of you to have a very strong sense of self, high self-belief and high self-confidence. And you'll earn that through demonstrated performance in the unseen hours. But no matter how accomplished you become, no matter how wise you are in any area of your life, I always want you to remain humble. I always want you to remember that no matter how good you are, you can still get better, that there's always room for improvement and room for growth. So number 1 is be coachable. Number 2, be a good teammate. Even if you're not playing on a sports team, I want you to be a good teammate. I want you to be a good sibling to your brothers and sisters. I want you to be a good classmate to those sitting around you, to the desk to your right or to your left. I want you to be the type of teammate that you want to play with. If you really sit down and think, who are some of the best teammates or classmates that you've ever had, and you think of the traits that made them the best, I want you to give some thought to how you can implement those same traits on a daily basis. Number 3, I always want you guys to have fun. You got to enjoy the ride and you got to enjoy the journey. Spend as much time doing things you enjoy and things that are fun as you can. In fact, if you can find the intersection between the things that you love and the things that you're pretty good at, and you find where those two things intersect, that's called your strength zone. And the more time you can spend in your strength zone, not only the higher you'll perform, but the happier and more fulfilled you'll be as well. So make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. Number 4, I always want you to give your best effort. See, effort is a choice. Most of you, I'm sure, would be willing to agree that when you work hard, it's because you chose to work hard, because working hard is, in fact, a choice. But if working hard is a choice, that means there has to be another side of that coin, which means not working hard is also a choice. And if you want to increase your performance and you want to increase the chance of getting one of those chairs and increase the chance of making your dreams come true, then you need to make the choice to give your best effort as consistently as possible. Number 5, take care of your body. You need to get adequate sleep. You need to prioritize getting quality sleep, which means turning off the TV, turning off your phones and iPads, turning off your laptops, and turning off your gaming systems at a reasonable hour so you can get quality sleep. It means fueling your body with healthy and nutritious foods. Doesn't mean you have to eat like that all of the time, but it means that most of the time, when given a choice, you'll choose the healthier option. And it also means that you want to move your body every single day, some type of physical fitness or physical activity. Maybe that's a conventional sport. Maybe it's just going for a walk or a jog or doing some calisthenics. It's just making sure that you move your body. You know, there aren't a lot of real truths in this world, but one that I do know for fact, you only get one body, and I want you guys to take care of it because it's the vessel at which you go through life. And there's also a very strong connection between mind and body, which means when you take care of your physical fitness, that you're also going to improve your ability to critically think and to problem solve and to have emotional intelligence. So number 5 is take care of your body. And the 6th habit is make good decisions. I know that one sounds really obvious, but you got to make good decisions, both large and small. From what you watch on Netflix to who you follow on Instagram to who you decide to spend most of your time with to what books you read, I want you to make good decisions. Because if you make good decisions, you'll have a good life. If you make great decisions, you will have a great life. And it should go without saying that if you continuously make very poor decisions, you're going to have a really tough go at it. Now, with that said, I'm not looking for perfection. The way that all of us learn and grow and evolve and improve is by mistakes, is by some failures, is by making temporarily boneheaded decisions, but then learning from them and not repeating those mistakes. So don't try to bat 1,000. Don't try to be perfect. Just know, especially as a young person, that you're going to make plenty of mistakes and trip over many a speed bump, but that's okay. Just learn from them. But continually aim to make good decisions. And the filter that I use in my life for making a good decision is I get crystal clear on the man that I want to become, whether it's 1 year from now, 5 years from now, or 20 years from now. I get crystal clear on what that guy looks like and acts like and feels like and behaves like. And then I run through every decision I make in my life through a filter that says, is making this decision going to take me closer to becoming that person or further away? If your goal is to make your soccer team, every decision you make, ask, is this going to take me closer to making the soccer team or further away? So in quick review, the 6 habits that you guys need to increase the chance of getting one of your chairs in this big game of musical chairs is to be coachable, is to be a great teammate, is to have fun, is to do your best, is to take care of your body, and is to make good decisions. If you can do those 6 things routinely, you'll be well on your way. And please know that that's only step one. Step two is actually, once you are doing those 6 things, is to make that contagious and to help your classmates and your teammates and your friends and your family and your siblings and everybody make sure that they're doing those 6 things as well. Because if it's something that's going to enrich your life and help you make your dreams come true, you should want to share that with others. And that's because a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Let me put a big bow tie on it with this final story, and then we'll welcome both Stu and Ian back. And I just want to tell you all how wonderful this has been to chat with you all. Real quick, before I put that bow tie on it, Stu mentioned my book. It's called Raise Your Game, High Performance Secrets from the Best of the Best. Depending on where you are in the world, hopefully you can still get it from Amazon. But I know you can get the Audible version, the audio book from Audible or wherever you get your audiobooks. And you can also get the ebook and the Kindle version. Also, to let you know that you'll be getting an email link to a new course that I just released called Make Your Game Plan. And it is a course designed specifically to help you all implement all of the things that I just shared. And I certainly hope you'd consider investing in either of those resources. Well, to put a bow tie on everything, I want to tell you about a young man that I had a chance to meet over a decade ago at the Kobe Bryant Skills Academy. Nike brought in the top high school and college players from around the country for an intense mini camp with Kobe Bryant, who at the time was the best player in the world. And there was a college counselor there that didn't have the same resume or physical stature as everybody else, but we could quickly tell as coaches there was something different about this young man. The most impressive of traits was at the end of the first workout, he tapped on my shoulder and said, "Coach, will you rebound for me? Because I don't leave the gym until I swish 5 free throws in a row." Yeah, for any of you watching right now that have shot a basketball before, you know what a high standard that is. Swish 5 in a row. And if memory serves, it never took that young man longer than 12 to 15 minutes to swish 5 in a row. And for any of you wondering, that young man was Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors, who is without question going to go down in history as the greatest shooter that the game has ever seen. And it's not by accident. It's not by luck. It's not even because his dad played in the NBA. It's because he's willing to hold himself to high standards, and he's willing to devote his life to having great habits. And Stephen Curry I know firsthand, does the 6 things that I shared with you. So my only question for you now is, are you going to do those 6 things?